Hello, my name is Michael Olugbengashile. I'm principal consultant of Dynamical Consult, and I'll be talking about the Interschools Chess Challenge coming up in June 2023. This is our invitation for your participation in this event. Who are we? We are Dynamical Consulting. Basically, we have two focus areas. Number one is the capacity building and development services. And the other one is the brand support and brand representation services. Of course, over the time, you get to know more about us, what we do, and our various areas of intervention. But for today, for the sake of this particular conversation, we'll be focusing on the Interschools Chess Challenge. And the origin of this started with Project Boardwalk. So Project Boardwalk was actually launched in 2012. So this was a part of our capacity building and development service operations, which was the focus on, raising a generation of very highly intelligent school children by introducing them to strategy-oriented board games. Of course, our target population was the ages of between 6 and 18, encompassing those in primary school and all the way into secondary school, with a focus on 3 board games: chess, Scrabble, and Monopoly. And over the years, we've been able to see the visible impact that these games have had on our participants. We've been doing this consistently now across the different schools and organizations for about 10 years, and we have testimonies to show about this. And for the first time, we're going to be having the Interschools Chess Challenge, which is an offshoot of this Project Boardwalk. And our intention for this is to actually include more schools, bring our partner schools and other schools together in a chess challenge. And the plan is not to make it a one-off event, but to continue to have this moving from one location to another. The objective of the Interschool Chess Challenge is to promote, project is actually to enhance the interest in chess among children and teenagers in Nigerian schools. We've seen what chess could do, especially in terms of the intellectual and the interpersonal abilities or capacities of growing children, of young children and teenagers. And we want to, continue to push that conversation. And of course, we also want to broaden or expand the Nigerian chess community by identifying and including more young chess prodigies. Now, this event will be taking place on Saturday, 24th June 2023 in Akure, Ondo State. I'll be featuring 2 categories of participants. We'll be looking at those from age 8 to 12. That's the first category. And the second category is those from age 13 to 17. Our intention is to have 16 schools represented in each of the categories. And we're hoping your school will participate in this event. We believe that your participation and support will definitely help us achieve our objective. And of course, create an opportunity for you to also promote your school to the participants, their families, and the wider community. And for this tournament, we'll be having, preliminary rounds that will feature 4 schools in 4 groups. So each of the 16 schools across both categories will be divided into 4 groups, each of 4 schools each. 4 groups of 4 schools each. So the preliminary round will feature a round-robin tournament where each school will meet the other 3 schools in the group. And at the end of this preliminary round, that's 3 rounds, we'll have the top 2 schools emerging and qualify for the quarterfinals. So from each of the categories, we'll have 8 schools moving into the quarterfinal stage. So based on their performance in the quarterfinal stage, then another 4 schools get knocked out in each category, and then they move on to the semifinals, the semifinal stage. So at this point, we have just 4 schools left, right, in each category. Then at the end of the semifinals, of course, 2 schools get knocked out again, and they head out into the final. So for the final, we're going to have just a single game going on to determine the tournament winner across each of the categories. So for our tournament modalities, we'll be employing the round-robin style, like I mentioned earlier, for the preliminary rounds, then the knockout style for the quarterfinals, semifinals, and the finals. And we're going to be using the time control of 20+0. That's 20 minutes with no increment for the time control for each of every single game throughout this particular tournament. Now, for the performance awards, we're going to be rewarding both school performance and individual performance. And the reason why we're doing this is because we understand that it's very possible that even the winning school might not necessarily have the best individual performer. So we want to make sure that at least those who are able to stand out in the course of this tournament, whether their school wins or not, are rewarded accordingly. So for this, we'll be looking at each of the candidates will receive 1 point for a win and 0.5% and 0.5 points for a draw. So for the school performance awards, the school with the highest average, for instance, like we mentioned that each school is allowed, we'll be talking about that in a bit though. So we're going to be dividing the average, so we're finding the average score from all the participants of each school, and that average score will determine who the winning school will be. The school with the highest average score will be declared the best school performer. Now for the prize distribution, so for the school prizes, we're going to be giving a sum of 100,000 naira. Winner's trophy for the school, of course, gold medals for all the participants, and certificate of participation to the school. For the first runner-up, we see the full details there. The second runner-up, third runner-up, the quarterfinalists. That's of course the 5th to 8th. Will see their brand. Of course, the last eight will not get any cash reward, but they'll be getting certificates of participation. That's the last 8 schools from each of the categories, and from each school category at the end of, by the time we collate and we determine the best of school performers in that tournament. Then for the individual prizes, for the 8 to 12 category, the winner is going to be, well, that's an individual this time around, the best performer overall. Of course, we look at it to the number of games that that person has been able to play and win. So the overall best performer in the 8 to 12 category is going to be walking with 20,000 naira, a winner's trophy, a gold medal, and of course a certificate of participation. So we see distribution as well for all the others: the first runner-up, the second runner-up, the third runner-up, the quarterfinalist, and the last 8. So again, the last 8 are not going to be getting any cash reward, but they get a certificate. Everyone is going to get a certificate of participation for being a part of this particular event. Then for the individual prizes, again, the 13 to 17 category, we see the distribution there. This time around, the winner is getting 25,000 naira. Of course, the winner's trophy, a gold medal, and a certificate of participation. And of course, we see the distribution for all the others. So the first runner-up, the second runner-up, third runner-up, quarterfinal. So basically, everybody gets something. Nobody's walking away without something, whether cash or there's a sort of a form of recognition. Of course, the eligibility participation details now. The eligibility criteria for this inter-schools chess challenge is based on this. Number 1, we said the participants must not be less than 8 years old or older than 18 years as of June 1, 2023. Then participants must attend a registered primary or secondary school in Nigeria. So each participating school can present a minimum of 2 and a maximum of 4 players. Now, how do you apply for this? Interested participants in the school inter-schools chess tournament must complete. There's a registration link. You can see the link right there. So that registration must be signed up by an adult, yes, because we are looking at children under 18, so definitely they need an adult consent to sign up on the form, and they must be endorsed by their school. So parents could decide to register their children, but then they must get their school's endorsement. And there's a registration fee of 2,500 per participant, upon which they'll be shortlisted. But depending by the time we're going to be arriving at the final shortlist, this will be on first come, first served basis. And of course, those who are not selected will have their fees returned to them. They will also provide a pre-tournament training support for schools who don't necessarily have that. They don't have enough experience, and they just feel they need some brush up. We have experienced instructors who are able to provide training support ahead of the event, of course, based on your request. But this also comes at a fee, a moderate fee, which will be always discussed about. Then why should your school or your students participate in this inter-schools chess challenge? We believe that there are a lot of benefits. Of course, we can see them all listed here. Chess promotes multiple skills for starters. Of course, encourages critical thinking, fosters healthy competition, promotes teamwork, networking opportunities, and of course, enhances problem-solving skills. So these are some, of course, we see improves academic performance, gives opportunity for personal development, among other reasons. Of course, media exposure comes with it too, of course, because in this particular event, we're having the media represented. Of course, they're going to be having some level of detailed exposure. Of course, you get recognition and increased visibility too for your schools. We're having about 32 schools in total. By the time we combine both the 8 to 12 and 13 to 17 category, about 32 schools will be represented from Ondo State and across Nigeria. So, of course, we expect your name is going to be getting a lot of, you get more recognition for your school. Your logos, your name, you'll be doing all promotional materials, event signage, and social media posts for the event. Networking also is another reason why we think you should participate. You get to network with other students, other school owners, other staff, other teachers. And of course, you get priority consideration for future events for your participants in this, who participate in this particular event. Then these are event timetable. It's going to be a full day event starting from about 8:30 a.m. on the Saturday, 24th June 2023, all the way to 6 p.m. So we see everything all detailed to make sure it's a very, very rich and a very, very interesting event. So we see the full breakdown of the timetable here. You could then some of our recent engagements. So these are some schools we've worked with over the last. These pictures are from the last 1 year, particularly. This is Water Springs International School, and this is St. Louis Nursery Primary School, all in Ambode and Akure, Ondo State. Was Preston International School, Akure, Ondo State as well. We also be at Maybest Elementary School, Akure, Ondo State. Then, of course, last year we had the 64 Sports Chess Challenge in Akure, Ondo State. That's last year, June 2022. Interestingly, this was from June 23. It was a 3-day event from June 24 to June 26th. And we saw participants from about 7 states in Nigeria. So we had a very beautiful event. And we're believing that this Inter-School Chess Challenge is even going to be a bigger one than this. So this is just some of pictures from a 64 Sports Chess Challenge Akure, Ondo State. It was an adult-based one anyway. Of course, participants were expected to be above 18. So we're doing this one for those who are below 18. Now, and of course, from there, we birthed the chess community, 64 Sports Chess community, where we meet from time to time to play the game of chess, to network. So this we professionals across all walks of life meet together to play the game, and of course, network as well. And these are some organizations we've worked with in the last 10 years. These are just to mention a few. So, we believe in that this is an event we think your school should really be a part of. And we look forward to having you on board, and let's do something beautiful together. If you have any questions, please, you could contact us on any of our contact details here. And we're looking forward to having you register for the event and making history. Thank you so much for your time.